Hello, and welcome back to, well, I guess another episode of repairing something for somebody. So, this Game Gear was originally sent to me by an Overclockers forum member, and the idea was just to kind of get it running. It would turn on um, and then turn straight off. So, originally the Game Gear that was sent was a VA1 Twin ASIC, so the 2 ASIC machine, and we have swapped the board over. Now, the reason for swapping the board, and I'll show you now, is so I'm just going to bring a video up on screen. So this is the original repair video. So if I press play over here, we're going to get a load of uh, stuff here. So I'm just going to fast forward it to looking at the screen, and you can see I count all the dead pixels on the screen, and I make it about 15 when I do get it running. So yeah, managed to get it up and running. Red light boot, everything you need from a Game Gear really. So anyway, I carry on. I spend some time taking it apart, and then show you removing all of the caps. Now a lot of the caps, I'll go over how I remove them on here. Uh, so let's just have a quick look at that. There we go. Oh, that wasn't very good, was it? So I'll just let it play for here for a second. So that's basically going over that. And as we go through the video, I will just remove all the caps and then have a problem with my camera. So I'll just grab the next video up. So yeah, then I carried on doing some testing. Now, I don't recap the Game Gear until I know that it's reading games. And to do that, I was with a power board that I know is good, and a soundboard that I know is good with all of the caps removed. Anyway, as we go through, I start testing all those components and realize there is an issue. Talk about a way to get sound out of the Game Gear if one of the sound channels has failed. Um, and in the end, I'm testing a cart slot somewhere. Yeah, you can see bending back all the cart pins and filing them down. Anyway, I find a broken the after yet another video, which this one is really quite long, 2 hours. Eventually, I find a broken cart pin, and with cart pins on the Game Gear, it generally just isn't worth swapping over the cart connector. So anyway, we resume with I've swapped the board over. Now, the interesting thing here is that this board I know will read games. It red light boots. Everything's good. Cart pins are nice and tight. Overall, it's in nice condition. So yeah, I've got a pile of Game Gears. I never spend more than £30 on a Game Gear, and this one's just a nice board. So rather than removing the cart slot, which is riveted in, and messing around, I decided, you know what, we'll just swap the board over. And maybe I'll do another video on the other board. What I'll do, I'll grab in some of these new boards, these SYF boards that are like bare boards and you can swap components on, and we'll make a few sort of like clear custom Game Gears with crazy boards and stuff in them. So yeah, I'm going to use some of my pile of spares to do that, I think, rather than spending hours troubleshooting with the oscilloscope and everything. When you've got a broken cart slot, it's just not worth it. Anyway, so we continue with this board. I'll show you what I normally do. So I've removed all of the capacitors. So this one here has been removed, one down here, and on this side of the board, let's try and get it to focus. There. Oh, here we go. Let's just turn this light down a bit and it might help. Yeah, there we go. So over here, we've removed like this one down here, all of these ones, these two over here, the one in on the input of 5 volt. This one is a C1 is 5 volt on its positive side that goes all the way round to the ASIC. That's what powers the ASIC. Anyway, with this one, we're just gonna plug it in. A bit on the shaky side today. Don't know what's wrong with me. Still feel quite ill, but you know, you've got to get on with life, haven't you? The wife has also come down with something now, which is always fun. So she's not been well either. So anyway, there we go. Got 9 volts set up on the bench supply, known good power board, known good sound board, all of the caps removed, and this is a good way just to test that it's reading games. So we'll power it on, make sure we've got a bit of volume, and of course it always helps at this point if you've got the speaker plugged in. So we'll do that, give it some volume, and we've got Sega. So we know this one's reading games. We also know that it doesn't have any dead pixels. So it does have this one vertical stripe that's slightly, but it goes in and out. So I think that might be good. And yeah, no dead pixels on the screen. But of course the screen is dull as you like, because it's a Game Gear, right? It would have to be. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to see what the screen's like on this one. And screens on Game Gears, unless you're super lucky, like one dude I do them for, he always seems to get lucky and at least over 50%, probably 80% of what he sends me, the screens work. I don't know how he does it, because about 90% of what I buy, the screens don't. Maybe that's the difference in the quality of what we buy. I don't know, or who we buy them from. Who knows? Anyway, so what we're going to do with this one is we've got a load of caps over here, kind of just bags of caps that we're going to use. And we're just going to go ahead and recap it and see where we end up. I think I'm going to try and get the scope action a bit better. The last video, oh my god, it was a nightmare. I didn't charge my phone. The phone kept running out. I was trying to do stuff. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. So in this one, I'm going to try and be a bit better. And let's see where we end up. I mean, we might end up with a screen mod in this one. We don't know. Or maybe I could keep hunting for one where the screen is viable. I've got one over there where the screen's kind of half viable. After a recap, I've got a pile of others. I guess I could go through them, but I think it's more fun this way. So yeah, I didn't want to be honest, after recording like 3 hours of footage on playing around with the other one last night, I don't have the time to edit all that into something coherent, or I don't think I do. So not at the moment anyway. I've got quite a lot of stuff in and things to do. I'm quite busy at work. So yeah, let's get the soldering iron heating up. I never come prepared to any of these videos, so there is that. But yeah, let's get the soldering iron on and let's clean this board up. I'm gonna bring us into here and I kind of show you the process. Now you can go crazy and spend hours cleaning up the pads and all, just being proper anal about it. But for this video, we'll probably just do a fairly quick recap. I mean, this board's actually quite nice, so it's going to come out nice. And let's just see where we end up. So with Game Gears, I tend to work at quite a low temperature. This one, I'm at 320. So we'll see where we go with it. Using the knife tip. I like the knife tip. So under here, this is the knife tip. And yeah, we're just going to go in and and kind of clean up all of the pads first. And we'll come back over, give them a little clean with some IPA, re-tin them all, and yeah, I'll show you what kind of the process is on these. First of all, it's just getting the old kind of solder and legs off, because yeah. So might fast forward through this a little. Don't know. It's also really tricky to film and do this. I've worked out it takes a lot longer, but that's not a problem. Just means it takes a little more time. I'm really shaky today. Okay, that's that. Up here to these lot. You'll notice I'm doing it in the case. I could take the case out, but just to protect this screen for now, we'll keep it in the case. Just don't burn the case. I've seen people burn the case. There's no need to burn the case. There's nothing close to the edge. But yeah, I'm just going over each one with a bit of new solder, kind of just cleaning them up a little. And once we go over that with some IPA and then come back through, some of them we might scrape a little bit, but yeah, the idea is just use this knife tip to our advantage for the moment. Sorry, I'm down here at the second, just done this cap here. And then we're going to do this, these two. These two were rotten. So, but as you can see, as I add the solder, all the old stuff comes away. Just leave a little lump down there. And give me iron a clean. And then we're just going to do a bit of extra on this one here. Yep. Cool. And then finally we've got this one down here over this side of the board. Find it best to come in this way for this side, like so. That one's come out nice. And then down here, just get some heat into it. Nice bit of solder. I'm using a 6040, but this solder I'm using, I'll show you it in a minute. It's probably like almost as old as me. I've been using it for years. I've definitely got it given to me before. It's definitely over 20 years old, and I've still got a load left. So this is good. A bit of that. And then we've got one up here. And then one here. Again, you don't need to get close to anything to do these. And then finally we've got one down the bottom of the board here. Your best bet is to come in this way, so you're well above the case at an angle. Don't want to burn anything. That's that bit done. And we'll just come in here next to this chip, audio chip. Like that. Nice. Okay, then next up, with all of that done, we're just going to come back in with the IPA and a toothbrush. we're just cleaning up. I'll try and keep it in the view as much as possible. Some of these will just come over with a little scraping device. Normally use tweezers, that's why I go through so many tweezers. But yeah, now we just want to try and get all of the crud off and the old flux and whatnot. Doing alright, because we want clean area to solder to. Just gets rid of any junk that's left. And then over this side, we're just going to do the same. This one's got glue underneath it, or did have. So we want our capacitor to sit fairly flush. So I'm just kind of getting rid of some of that. So I've got some space to work with. It's much better. Up here. It's a nice clean board, this one. Some of them, it's funny because some of you buy some really ones that are like beaten up to hell on the outside and have got just the nicest boards. And then you'll see some that look like they've been looked after on the outside. And like Phatboy's one, for example, that board, I don't know where it had been stored, but inside it looked not too bad. But the pins on the cart slot had all sorts of corrosion and nastiness on them. Spent ages cleaning them, but sanding them down, cleaning them, testing them with the oscilloscope, yeah, just couldn't get them to play. And then I saw the broken one after so much messing around. Anyway, it's not important now. So here we go. So now I think it is time to just come in and do a little bit of recapping. So we're gonna just, clean up these pads a little bit, scrape off any nastiness. Looks good. That one looks nice. That one's got a little bit of nastiness around it, but overall pretty good. Certainly plenty for solder to take to. We're just trying to get rid of any oxidization and kind of nastiness. Doesn't take very long. Okay, that's that. Now, a little bit of flux. If we can find the flux capacitor. There we are. Oh, Jesus. Look, I'm breaking everything. All right. A little bit of flux in here. A little bit of flux here and here. And let's get some caps out. So what do we want to go with first? We're going to go with some of these bad boys. Yep, cool. That should do it. Now bear with me. That's the exact number we need for this. So let's have a look. Right, yeah, solder and iron. Sorry. So do this one first. Come in, give it a nice little bit of solder. Looks pretty good. Right, want to go like that. Get some blobs on there. And we're going to get our cap up above that area. Like so. Give it a little nudge. Hold it in place. Sweet. And then we're just going to make sure we've got nice clean joints. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. Just going to come in and remove a tiny bit. There we go. Nice. Now we're going to, with a cotton swab, just come in and clean that area up. Sweet. And that is that's that one done. And then the next one is this one here. Looks good. Grab my cap. Again, I'm just going to put it above. I'm going to use my knife. I'm going to go in on the side. And then I'm going to give it a little love. Plenty of flux on there. And that's that one done. Once again, clean up a little. And the process goes on. There's not that many caps on a Game Gear, to be fair. And it's not difficult to recap a Game Gear nicely. All right, now we've got these ones, this one and this one. So same process. We're just going to go in there with a little of that, put a bit of flux down. Oh, always do a little bit of scraping just to make sure that it's the whole pad. Grab my my cap I'm using, put it just above. Gonna clean my iron real quick, and then come back in, heat it up, and just hold it in place. And this one, just going to touch up a little. That side, and this side. Perfect. And then let's do the one next to it while we've got the flux down, and then we'll clean up together. That looks nice. This one, you just got to be careful of that cap next to it. Change up your angle if you have to. There we go. Looks lovely. Then we're just going to pop him on. Let's get a bit more light maybe so you can see. There we go. Okay. Just clean these two up real quick. You can hopefully then see. Decent job. So what do we reckon? Decent screen, not decent screen? I don't know, what are we? We're 24 minutes in. Why does it take me so long when I record? I time myself when I don't record, and yeah, don't nearly take as long. Who knows? Don't understand it myself. So we want to deal with this one next. Where's my iron over here? Grab a quick drink. Having a couple of glasses of wine this afternoon. Why not? Couple of drinks, repair a few things. Why the hell not? Don't really want to go anywhere, not feeling too great, so just best off to chill, eat, relax, rest up, fix some game gears. Okay. This one I forgot to go over the first time round, so getting decent blobs on those pads now. So we'll grab our little cap, throw it on, find the tweezers that we definitely haven't just lost. Once again, just pop it above. And this is the process we take every single time, and it's got to be a lot quicker. There we go. Cool. Okie dokie. Just clean that up real quick. Now, I did have a couple of caps laying around, didn't I? Where are they? There they are, over there. Could do with two of those. Different different values, different places. Okay. So next up, we are looking at these two areas. So same stuff again. Might as well do this one first. I forgot this one's already got quite a lot of solder on it. That's okay. We'll clean up, go back in, a little bit more flux, the old flux capacitor. Got a little bit of bit of smoke. Right, that's that one done. And while we're here, we'll just quickly do this one. Nice. That's a good looking bit of solder. So the way to do this one then is we're coming in from different angle. Don't want to get near that gold pad. I mean, it doesn't matter if you turn them a little bit silver, but try not to. Just ground planes. Sit behind the buttons. Oh. Oh. Managed to do that one outside of the camera. I'm coming in from this angle. Looking good. Cool. So let's get those two back under here, just this area here. And the ones we replaced are this one here, and this one here. So, little cleanup. So those two done. Now, it's worth just a quick. And we're going to need 1, 3, 5. Okay. So not bad. Not bad job. Cool. They look good. Yep. What I'm looking for now really is just any nasty cold joints or anything. That looks pretty good. Could probably do a little more solder on that one. Or is that just a little light? Let's have a look. You know what? We'll have a little bit more on that one. Just on that side. A bit of flux. Just a ground plane. This is more OCD than anything. Doesn't actually matter. There we go. Nicer. Just a bit nicer. Still had plenty of connection, but we really wanted it on the whole pad. There we go. Cool. All right, now we need some, what other ones do we need here? Let's grab some of these caps. Okay. Cool, right, so now we are going to replace the remaining ones. So let's go with this fella here. What about that? Same process on them all. It's actually quite therapeutic. This one actually doesn't stink of fish either. So that's always quite nice. Cool. Cool. Oh, can't get in from that angle today. What's wrong with me? Yeah, I can. Nice. Nice. Okay. Clean as we go. Down here. Same again. Just a bit of new solder. Cool. And then some flux. Nice on both pads. Might as well just place it on. There we go. That's looking nice. Cool. So that's this side of the board completely done. We'll come back and just clean up some of this flux in a bit. Just give it an extra clean. So over to the other side, we've got this one down here, which is already nice and clean, pads wise. Got this one over here, could do a little bit of cleaning up. And then this one here. So let's grab this one first. I'm just going to go straight in with this one. Again, just using my knife tip. Do love the knife for Game Boys. I keep saying Game Boys, Game Gears. Don't want it to be crooked. There we go. Give that one a nice little clean like the rest of them. That cotton bud's done now, isn't it? Let's grab another one. Oh, what's this one like? Little clean. What are we looking like there? Really nice. Okay. Over to this little fella. we don't really change our tactic at all for these. We just change our angle. Okay. Looks good. Tiny bit more flux in here. Yep. And then over this side. I mean, this side of the cap looks pretty nice, but we'll get a bit more. Nice. Okay, now, very last cap, and then we can test it. Play the screen roulette. What do we think? Cool. See that? Yep. Okay. A bit more. Okay. What's that done? So soldering iron down. Turn this light down a bit so we get some more kind of normal light. Out there works. Cool. Let's just clean up that last one a little. All right, time for some screen roulette. And this is just a recap. I mean, that looks weird in that light, but it's just, yeah, all recap, nice joints. Anyway, same over this side. Nice clean joints. Okay, so for the moment of truth, let's see. Let's roll the screen roulette. And what do we get? Where are my power supply? There it is. Okay, you ready for this? Move that over there a little. And then dun dun dun. All right. Screen roulette. We got a viable screen. My boy got lucky, look. Hello. And welcome back. Right, so we finished off the last part with finding a board with a good screen. And I reached out to my guy, see what he wanted to do. And actually, we want one that doesn't have such a good screen because he wants to go IPS. Can't blame him. IPS is better on these. IPS is best. So I've got a screen mod and a lens and I'll show you. We've swapped it. You might notice we've swapped board again. This board is one I recapped earlier, and I know it's got, I know it works, but has got a bad screen, or a screen that is not as good as I'd like it to be. So if we go over here and turn it on, you might be able to see that one section of the screen over here is a different colour. I'll turn it off and on again, show you. So yeah, you can see the middle section has got like 2 lines, and yeah, it's just not good enough. The machine itself works nicely though. So instead of using that last one, this is the one we're going to put the mods on. So in order to do that, we need to get this out of here. Get these boxes out of the way. And get this out. Get our iron heating up. And we're just going to start removing stuff. Gets rid of that. We'll make a little pile in here. Need to take that off. And then on this, we're just going to bring this over. Maybe you want to see, I don't know. Let's try and get it so you can. Okay. So we're just going to literally slide up here. Don't want to break any of these pins. Don't really care about the screen so much. That's our screen. And then on the screen, what we'll do is just grab some flux. Just get rid of any nastiness. There we go. Real nice. So that's that. And now we want to remove this backlight. And the other side of the backlight is just here. We'll go back and we'll clean up the holes. And then I want to remove these two transistors. So generally to move these, just get in here, just add a bit of solder as you're doing it. Now start pushing off. It might take a second. Go from the other side. There we go. Nice and easy. Put that over there. Same with that. Grab a tiny bit of wick. Just wick this up. Nice a bit. You can tell I just use whatever I've got laying around in terms of wick. There we go. That looks all right. Cool. And then I want to remove basically everything over here. So we're just going to spin this board round. And then we're going to come in and we're going to remove this cap. That'll just fall out. So there's that. And then we're going to remove this coil. Again, that'll just fall out, I think. Normally does. This one doesn't want to. So gone. What else are we removing? We want to remove this cap here. Which falls out. So that's kind of that lot around here. We want to remove the transformer. So what I'm going to do is just add a load of solder. Transformer comes out much easier with a load of solder. Some here. Just get it going through. Nice. And then this might be a bit tricky under the microscope, but what I need to do is just rest a pair of tweezers underneath, and then this side will start pulling away. Yep. And then I can get underneath the middle of it. And just a little bit of heat, and that is basically pulled away. Okay, now get the harder bits. Yep, there we go. Now I can just get it with my fingers. Pretty much. There we go. There's the transformer out. So this whole area now is free of components. So we'll just come in and clean up our holes. Oh, mucky mucky. Go along. There we go. That one's got something in it still. Yep. Little leg. And then these two. Okay. So, what we got? This is now the wrong side of the board. This is now what we're working with. We cleared out all of those. Just cleaned it up. So I'll clean up this area. We will have to clean out and get rid of the fuses. Clean these. We're soldering these to these later. Over here. Cool. That's what that looks like now. Could get rid of that one if that's a hole. Yeah, it is. Cool. Okay, that's that side of the ball prepped. And then we're going to quickly just clean up these pins. We've already cleaned them up solder wise. So no bridges or anything. Cool. Okay, now over to the other side of the board. These are all the areas we've already done, so let's just clean everything up. Okay. We probably could have taken those fuses out first. Should we do that real quick? Let's do this side first. Just grab onto our fuse. As simple as that. Okay. So back to what we are working on. We're going to just pull that a little closer. So let's start stripping out some of the stuff we don't need. So we don't need this. Ruin that ground. Doesn't matter. That one come off nicely. Okay. And then we're going to take off this little fella. So just going to try and lift it. Yep. Cool. Sorry, that was that transistor there, which we bridged. There we go. I mean, it doesn't matter that we bridge that, to be fair. C34 we don't need. That's that one gone. Cool. Okay, so let's just clean up. Come back there in a minute. Cool. Excellent. That'll do for that area. And we're going to take off this one and this one. Get rid of them two. Cool. And then we're going to take off 41, which in the camera is this one. Trying to take it off without looking at it. Hold on. There we go. Let's 44 we're going to take off. 43. 38. Like that. Oh, don't even know where I was showing you. Anyway, they're all off. Everything we need over there is off. So that's basically our board preps. So what we're going to do next, give it a little clean up. Looking good. Over this side as well. Got some dried on factory flux and stuff over here. Cool. Just going to grab our solder sucker and just grab the solder out of these. You don't have to, but it's a nicer job if you do. Where's my solder? Cool. So they're all empty now. Okay. So now, I think the next thing to do is take our pile of parts that we don't really care about. And our screen and another part. Get all of this, stick it out of the way. Let's just wipe this down. Get rid of all the bits of solder and everything. Cool. So next up, we get our mod board. And we fit up our mod board. Like so. So you want it so all of these pins marry up. Pin 1 all the way across. Because we're going to need to be soldering some of those down. And then you got these ones over here. So you can double check where pin 1 is. Pin 1 on the GG is labelled. See, it says 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pin across is 1. In the same way that when you put this on, it should marry up. Because there's 5 pins before the beginning of this. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1. So it needs to be like that. So what I always do, I tack it here, and then fit it up. So let's tack first, get it lined up, and then we will we'll finish up. So first things first, a little bit of solder here. That looks pretty good. Let's have a look. Nice, nice. Okay. So now we've got decent alignment. We'll get the 5-volt plugged up, like that. Get this one finalised. I like that. And then get the ground on, like that. Now the ground is these 2 pins. So I go onto both. It's no problem. And that looks good for the rest of the fit up. Good stuff. Hole up here, lines up. Excellent. So the next thing we want to do is we're just going to tin up all these. And then we're going to tin up this one and this one. And then we are going to tin up points 14, which is this one. Points 15 over here. And point 16 over here. Point 15 is this one that I didn't show you. Cool. And then over on the brightness wheel, we just want to tin up the two middle ones. A little bit of tin, a little bit of extra tin. Like so. And get rid of that. Cool. Cool. Okay. What colour are we going to go for today? I think we're going to go for a yellow one. It's been a while since I've done a yellow one. So let's find some yellow wire. Cool. Oh, this is the start of something good. That'll do. Okay. So what we're going to do is just wire up all these points, measure it up, and chop it. Same again over here. You want to come off at this sort of angle on this one. Oh, not quite. Excellent. Wire it up. Measure it up and chop it. And then on the last one, up here. Oh, slipped. Cool. It's looking a bit not as nice as the other two, so we'll just touch that up. There we go. Give it a trim. Cool. So all we've literally done is put 3 cables on, measure them up roughly for their points here, and then we're moving to the next. So on the game gear, again, top one first, makes it easier. There you go, that's in there nice. Measure it up, chop it. And down on the bottom here, just, no, there we go. Nice. Measure it up, and chop it. Okay, good. Over the other side of the board, we want to tin up our clock signal. So in we go. Clock signal. And I'm going to make this one quite a small one, just off the bat. Okay, so we tinned up our clock, and we need to tin up our clock signal out the oscillator, which is there. So with this first one, just tack that into place. Oh, there we go. And then we need to just bring it around to the oscillator. So nice. So that's that. I'll go and just clean up any excess and whatnot. And then we want to, over here on the board, we're going to do some work. So let's just push those. Nice. Yep. And we're going to tin up T11. That's it. And T10. Cool. And then what can we see here? You can see T10, good. It's a bit difficult to do it under the scope. What's the best angle? Maybe this. I'm going to move that cap over in a minute. Okay. A little bit of that. Where's our tweezers? There they are. So doing it massively cock-handedly. There we go. Excellent. And then I need to put that resistor right. Sorted. Okay. Clean up around there in a minute, but it's fine. So just going to go up over here. I'm going to go over to T11 over here. And because that's all the wire we need, we'll just strip it back to there, plop it on like so, and then wiggle, and we are done with our wiring. Well, that's all the wire we need to finish the job anyway. So back over to this side of the board. We're just going to wire these up real quick. So just take the end off that. Nice. Okay. And then finally this one, much the same again. We just attaching them to the mod board at this point. That can be a lot shorter. Right, nice. So that's that wire, that wire, that wire. We'll just take the end off this. Cool. And then now it's time for sound wire. They're not sound, they're the contrast, or in this case, brightness we're wiring them up for. That one done. And then this one we need to do roughly the same, just come back a little bit more. That looks pretty good. And then just bring that in. Cool. Okay, so that's all the wires we need to do for the screen are kind of now in place. So these three just go out to the buttons, and that gives us like options for changing settings on the display. And then you got these two which deal with contrast. And then you've got obviously your 5V down here. So let's go back down to here. Your 5V, your ground, and this pin's GGSMS. So this allows it to play Game Gear, Master System games even. Okay, so we've done the large majority of the screen setup now. So now we've got to solder these. And to do that, I'm going to change my tip. The knife is good, but for the finer work, I want a different tip. What is that? Is that a C1? I think that's a C1. That'll do. So because it's a C1, temp is going to have to go up a bit. Went from 320 to 350 for this bit. Cool. And then we want to go into all the places we need it. Here, 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 here. And then we've got one over here, one here. Okay, now all I do for these is I want to come in on it and down, and then I'm just going to feed a little bit of solder into it and then take it off. And that's connected, but we want a bit more. So we're just going to feed a bit more solder, and then you end up with something. Give you a bit of a close-up. Let's clean it up first. can see, let me bring my microscope right in. See that? So that's the one we've done. And you see how you get like this dome onto the single pin, and it also touches this top piece of metal. So yeah, we're just going to do them all like that. So back up. Oh, why can't we do it? Oh, there we go. I've just realised I've probably been recording by accident on a bit of a squiff. So I don't know, shall I fix it? There we go. Oops. My bad. So there was going to be a bit cut off the top for the whole video or something, isn't there? Great. That's just what you need, that is. Alright, so let's bring this forward some. Now, I don't really need the scope to do this, and I don't use the scope, so I'll leave the scope there so you can see. But other than that, I'm just doing it by the way I always do it. Come in with the C1, feed in a bit, perfect. Feed in a bit, yep. Feed in a bit. And then I'm going to come back along. That's one. Two. And finally, three. Wait. Okay. Looks nice. That's another three done. And then we're going to do the same for this one. Flux, flux. A little bit of solder. Cool. And then cool. Great. So that is all of those done. Let's give it a quick clean up. All those joints look good. Not touching each other. Get rid of all the junk over this side of the board. Quick clean up. Remove any excess. A little bit of excess here. Get rid of that. All right, sweet. And that's how it's looking at the moment. All the wires routed out the way of the buttons. Yeah, looks good. Okay. So now we're going to do some testing. Let's bring that out of the way. And just plug that in. Do that. Don't need a soundboard for the second. So let's plug that onto there, and then that one onto there. And if I put a game in, let's see, make sure you can still see what's going on, like so. Sega. And there you go. Turn that off for a minute. Bright. Looks good. Not so bright. Awesome. Okay, so that's kind of step one. And that's the mod done. So next step is let's put a bit more light back on over here, if that helps. Yeah, there you go. All right. So with our mod done, we can just grab this out, pull this out, and let's look at getting the case up to scratch. So we're just going to like throw all the buttons out. And Phatboy, look at this. This button is looking rather brown. So bear with me. Just bear with me while I look around for a box of Game Gear buttons. Oh God, dropping everything here. Oh, like, nope. Now I'm sure they were in kind of like a little brown box. Not there. Oh, there we go, that'll do. Perfecto. Okay, there we go. A blue one. Nice. We don't want this. Don't want that. Don't want that at all. We don't want any of this. So this bit takes forever. Okay. Get rid of all this. There really isn't a better way of doing it than just scraping away at it with your nail. And then I do come in with like some tweezers. Like so. Doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to come back over it with some IPA and get all of the worst of it off so that the new lens fits nicely. He's on my seat, isn't he? Sorry, my cat has taken my seat. Right. Okay. So just getting the bits that you can see clean. Everything else now is more than good enough. Sweet. Okay. So with that bit done, we need to, where's my pliers? There they are. We're just going to come in here and savage that because we go. Put that back in there. Okay, now we want to peel this off. Pop it in. And then we have got some spare bracketry. Yep. Get that in place. Cool. And now we need to clean some buttons. Okay, get our buttons in. Where are the rest of the buttons? They're here. We got a nice new blue one. Well, one's stolen from a console that's had a nicer blue one. Okay, that looks good. And that. Okay, so we had the rest of the buttons around here somewhere. And okay, let's grab some buttons. Yeah, God knows. Oh, there they are. All of them are over here. Cool. So let's pop some buttons in. And now, before we do anything, one of the first things we must do is clean off around these. So all I'm doing is just cleaning the buttons off because we've been soldering around there. So don't want any flux, because flux stops the buttons working so well. So that's that side. There was definitely a bit of dirt there. Just go over this side. Nice. And now the buttons themselves. Get a little bit of black. That's fine. Cool. And now we put our board in. Like so. And then we're going in with these screws. How are we looking? There we go. Now, lens. There's no dust on that. Oh, geez. Nearly knocked the camera over. Oh. Alright. Now that looks pretty good, if I'm honest. But we'll give it a quick blast. So with these, come and just go like this, and then you get your finger on this one, just up ever so slightly. And as you take it off, it should just rip this one away. once we're done, take that, plop it on. And there we have it. Right, so it is the next day, and last night we left it here with new screening and everything like that. New lens, all the mod done. The board's not screwed in. Oh no, it is. It is screwed in, so board's all screwed in. Pads are feeling nice. And I've also cleaned and polished up the shell, which I did last night. It's still got that little scratch here, a couple of little scratches down here. But other than that, it's pretty nice condition. The new lens really makes it pop. So that's nice. But yeah, it's just nice overall. So all we need to do now then is prep up the rest of the console. So these are the bits we're working on today. We'll get our iron heating up. And we need to replace the caps on the power board. And we've got some caps here. We got Rubicon. We'll go for Tano and got some JB caps for the smaller cap. And then we've got some ceramics for here. Now, if you have a look at here, I don't know whether you can see it. Try and bring it up. Can you see the quite a lot of corrosion around here, around these resistors? Got corrosion around these resistors at the bottom. And no doubt it's quite leaky. So we'll give that a look. Power board is actually looking all right. It doesn't hold good voltage. You get voltage drop off on it. So that'll just be one of these caps more than likely. So we can have a look at that and see what we get. We should probably get our meter out just so we can check outputs once we're recapped. So I think we'll start off on the soundboard. So like before, let's get my bits. Just got to go easy on these soundboards because they like to rip pads off. So just rock them back and forward in the direction, opposite direction of the legs. So if it goes horizontally, you want to rock it vertically. Otherwise, you're going to pull pads. So this one this way, and you should just pull the legs off. Nasty underneath. That one's been leaking. And here, just grab it, rock it. Is it going to pull a pad? Nope. Got it off without a pad. Nice. And I didn't grab any tweezers before I started filming. I just I get the urge to go and I go. I don't set anything up. I just, yeah. Get rid of the junk. And finally, we're going to get this one off. I mean, that board looks pretty grim. So let's get our camera up in here. So where is that at the moment? It's quite high up. So let's bring it just down a bit, I guess, so we can work. Right, okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to leave that like that for now. You're going to have to excuse the fact that there's a lot of light. I don't know. I'll get better at filming, I promise, but until I do, I need to get one of those like overhead, really cool, so that it makes life easy. So that is, I think that's the next one I'm going to do. But anyway, we got corrosion up around here. So let's just make this a little bit bigger. And we'll get this out the way. We'll get, yeah. So you can see it's looking a bit grim. We got all sorts of corrosion and just general nastiness. So first things first, we're just going to come in there with some IPA and just clean the board up a little. Then we'll do our normal cleaning it up using solder. So already that's going to make a big difference. That's looking quite rough. So we're just going to get up in here. Better. Going to put a big dollop in the wheel and just move the wheel back and forward. Because corrosion normally gets into the wheel. We're just going to let it sink in. There you go. That's all gone into the wheel. Or evaporated away, one of the two. Cool. And just final little clean. There we go. Now just dry the board off a little. And that already looks a ton better. See, we've got, obviously we've still got the legs for the caps and stuff on there, but it's definitely workable. Didn't break anything. Still got loads of legs in place. Right, okay. So here I use cork, and the idea of the cork is that I can just push the board into it like so, and the board won't wiggle around while I'm working on it. So that's why I use a bit of cork normally. It's actually glass backed, so it's like a 3D printer bed. It's glass backed cork. I built it myself. Okay. Wrong tip. We got a C1 tip on from last night. Really small 1mm tip, and we don't want that. We want something a little beefier. So we're going to go in with our knife. Good old knife tip. Just got to wait for it to heat up. 250, 80, 300, 350. We didn't need 350, so I turned it down a little. 350 was for when I was working with the C1 on the mod. So we're just gonna literally. It's looking good. That's that one. This one down here. Looks good. And then we'll go this one. Other way around. Can we still see it? Nope. Not really. Cool. And then we got this little one here. So this one go up from the bottom like this. Just put plenty of solder on. Don't want to touch the plastic. There we go. That's that. A couple of nice blobs of solder on there. And then last one's this one. So let's just come in here. A couple of nice blobs of solder. Just getting rid of some nastiness. Cool. Okie dokie. We didn't like the amount of corrosion on these either. So what we're going to do is, if we just throw down a little bit of flux in the areas, we can just touch up some stuff. Okay, like so. Just push that back down in again, and we're just going to cool. Right, that's not terrible. Okay. So let's give the board a little bit of a clean, and then we'll put the caps on. So a nice big spike here, look, spike here. Okay, so that's that. We're going to have to come back after the caps anyway, so just a little couple of areas here, here, and here. Excellent. Grab our iron. It's always the same process. None of this is rocket science. Okay. Cool. Next one. Excellent. The list will do. We'll do this one down here. Oh. Jesus, can't stay still today. Beautiful. Okay. And then we got this one over here. It's important to come in at the right angles, not to ruin the plastic. That's nice. Oh, this one here. And just going to come in at this angle here, put a bit more on that side. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. We will just pop a little bit more here. That'll do for now. And the baby one. This one up here. And again, just come in from underneath. Get it flowing. And that's nice. Looking real good. Okay. So at this point we're good on the power board. Sorry, soundboard. And we're just going to want a little more IPA. Give him a little clean. But we haven't burnt any of the connectors. It's kind of the idea. All the caps are on there looking good. Flood it with a bit of IPA. Go over it with a towel. And there we have it. This is our recapped sound. Looking good. Some fresh, nicer looking solder. Cool. So that's that. Next up, power board. So the power board, we're replacing this one, and this one here. And there's an easy way of doing that. I'm going to just do this, maybe turn this down to about here so you can see. So yeah, this is the power board. Now, on the back, these are the caps we're going to put back in. One solder sucker. And that's all I need. So heat the iron back up, clean it up. All right, Mr. Iron, moaning at me. Okay, so we're literally just going to come in on this cap here. We're going to add a ton of solder. And then we're just going to rock. And hope that this one wants to come out. Starting to fall. There we go. It's just fallen. Sweet. Next one along is this one. The same process, just heat it up, get it heating through. Get a load of solder on. And then, hold on a minute, I can give a little bit more light here. So yeah, these two are done. And this one down here should have fallen out. Yep. These are the original caps. And the last one are these ones. So again, I'm just going to roll in with a load of solder. Rock backwards and forwards. Feel it. And there we go. Out. So now the next thing to do is, if we look over here, going to come in. Well, let's do these two first. Let's just get my iron across them and clear those holes out like so. And this one here, clear that hole like that. And this one up here, clear that hole. And of course, in clearing that hole, I'll put more into this hole. So let's go clear that. Sweet. So that's that hole, that hole, that hole. And these two here you can normally do together. So I'm just going to hit that over there. Let's try and show you. And clear those holes out. Excellent. So that's all of our holes cleared. So next up, we need to pop our cap in, like so. And bring it round here. And it's quite simple. We're going to solder it back up. So we're going to just come here, a little bit of solder. Nice joint, perfect. Sitting right. Yep. Okay, just straighten that leg up there. Come in on the leg, a little bit of solder, and we're golden. All right, next one. Pop that in, bend the leg so it holds up. Because these are smaller, they don't touch the ground. Pop that in. That looks good. Lift this up. Get some solder flowing on that. And that looks good. Wicked. Just touch them both up. Yeah, that's looking real nice. So now we've got those legs all in, soldered up, looking good. And now all we've got to do is the small cap. Pop the small cap in. Again, we bend it so that it holds in. And then over here we've got a small cap leg. So we're just going to come in there and add a bit of solder. We don't want to connect those, so we'll come back over in a second. That's all good. Bend the leg up. Come in again. And we just want to add a little bit of solder to it. I mean, it's good. But it's looking a little bit of a big joint, so I'm just going to clean up the iron and just give them both a tap. This looks better already. Looks better. Cool. All right. So, I mean, that's it. All soldered up, all the legs off, and all of our caps nicely flush on our board. So it's looking good. So what we want to do is come in with some snips, if I can find some snips. And I'm going to trim these off. So all right. So there we go. There's our soundboard recapped. Sorry, audio board, soundboard, power board. That's our power board recapped. So let's get rid of these caps that we had. Okay, excellent. I'm just going to clean this up. That's a nice job. No burning of the board. Nice clean joints. I mean, it looks good. There we go. Okay. So I think we're going to come in with a little bit of power on the sound, on the power board. And let's see what its output voltages are. So we should have two 5-volt rails coming off of it. So we should have 5 volts, 5 volts, 3 grounds, and then we should have VBAT and VREF, and then 34 volts. So we're going to measure. And let's see how stable they are, and let's see how good those voltages are. So let's just pull that off for a moment. So yeah, 9 volts coming out of the bench supply into the board. So our VBAT should be 9 volts on the dot, but you do get a little bit of drop off, so sometimes. So let's turn the board on. Let's go onto a ground, and let's measure the first 5-volt rail. 4.946, that's good. Next one, 4.947, 4.95, that's good. It's real good. Okay, and then what we got here, 1.283, so that's VREF, that's our reference voltage. 9 volts at VBAT, on 9.03, that's good. And then we should have a 34 volt here, 34.21, real stable voltages across the whole board. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, so that's our power board, some good voltages, correct voltages. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so we know that all that works. So the next thing to do is begin the rebuild. So let's do that. Let's pop that there. I'm going to fold this up like so. Pop that through there. Fold that back down. Nice. Try not to pull it off because it never goes back on the same as it came off. Where's all the screws? Oh my god, I've got millions of screws over here. Here we go. Just grab some Game Gear screws for now. Cool. That'll do. Just a selection of Game Gear screws. Let's just push this in. And this one. And then audio. Let's fit up our audio. In you get, fella. Oh, okay. And then we're going to pop in this final one. Now, because we've modded it like a true pro, we can't sadly use this entire thing because this section, it fouls the screen. Now, on the original early Japanese models, it didn't have this top section. This top section was added later. So what the early Japanese models look like is this. Now, I always recommend using a pair of scissors for this step. Now, honestly, if they're pink and exactly like these are the best scissors. These are the ones you should use. Other colours are, of course, available, but I'll warn you now, they're not as good. So just cut through that, and we should end up with something a little like that. Cut right across here. And what we want to do is we're just going to go and temper that edge a little bit because it can be quite nasty. It's very sharp. So we're just going to bring that edge down a little so that it pushes into the case of the console. There we go. So you're not going to catch yourself on it. It's actually the other way, isn't it? Oops. So let's just do what we need to do here. Come down the other way. Just enough so that you're not catching yourself on it. That's it. And that's going to sit in there, like so. Put my pink scissors out of the way. As I say, the pink ones are the best. And we're just going to put our cart cover, secure that home, like so, like so. And then we're going to just drill this into place. Yep, looking good. Let's just get that out of the way. Sorry. Just get my scope out of the way, because we don't need a scope right now. Okay, so, all done. This is recapped, recapped, recapped. Oh, modded. So modded, modded. All nicely recapped. You know, done properly. Everything here disappeared. Looking good, right? Fantastic. So then we're going to pull this, we're going to pull this, we're going to start just clearing up the desk space, because we're getting there. We are getting there. And you know what we want? We want there to be joy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No, where were we? Okay, there we go. All right. So next step is we're just going to do some plugin. Do some plugin. In fact, we'll do this first. Little sound. Come on, little fella. Why won't you do what I want you to do? I just want that to go. It's making it hard for me, isn't it? Oh man, I don't think I've ever had that much trouble, or this much trouble, getting one of these sound things in. Is it bent? Have I bent the pins somehow? Alright, hold on a minute. This is ridiculous. This is an unacceptable way to be getting these in. Are you bent slightly? If you bent slightly, let's bend your back. I don't think it is, you know. Oh, it might have been actually. So, now give that a bash. Oh, there we go, look. Jeez. Plug the power for the audio. There we go. Make it nice and snug. All snug as a bug in a rug. There we go. And the first thing we want to do is we're going to test, right? So we're going to throw a game in this bad boy. And let's get some DC voltage up in here. Turn it off first. DC voltage. Pow! Sega! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Well, we're going to go Sonic. Could have went Tails. No one goes Tails. Tails is underrated. Underappreciated as well. Poor Tails. So you can... Sonic Chaos is one of those games. I think it came later in the system's life, and it really does push the Game Gear. So the amount of lag that you get in Chaos is just crazy. Oh yeah, let's go here. Dun, dun, dun. Oh no! We'll finish the first level together. There we go, look. Well done, Sonic. Well done, fella. Apparently he was going 802 kilometers an hour for that level. What a champ. What a champ. Right, we're not going to do level 2. I'm sorry. But as you can see, Sonic is working beautifully. Screen's looking really lovely. See, brightness is all working as it should be. Can't see just how good it looks, but trust me when I tell you, it looks amazing. Sega. Right, okay. So this is one sweet looking Game Gear now. And the next thing to do is we're going to leave the cart in because that keeps it all in alignment. And we're just going to put some screws back in on this little bad boy. Come on. There we go. There's one. And then we do have to test it on batteries because original report was that it would turn on and off again. Now, of course, the original screen loved to draw a lot. So let's just tighten those up. Tighten this one up. God, I love a bit of that Sonic. That's classic 8-bit, isn't it? Classic 8-bit music. Do love it. We will also test GGSMS mode. So I'll grab my flash cart in a mo and we'll test some Sega Master System games. In fact, hold on a minute. Let's get its battery covers. The battery covers. Here they are. Right. Cool. What we're going to do is, let's get some of my rechargeables. Now, what I will say straight away is original Game Gear, and I'll show you in a mo because it's really annoying. So, batteries, especially rechargeables. If you compare this to this, the little knob on modern batteries is seemingly a bit more shallow on rechargeables. There isn't, as far as I can tell, a standardized battery size for AAA, apart from, yeah. So sometimes you'll put a set of batteries in. So, for example, these Amazon ones won't work with the Game Gear. And it's because this little knob doesn't quite have enough to touch the terminals. Super annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw a random selection of batteries in. It's always got to be a random selection. There we go. Cool. Let's pop some of this on. And let's test our Game Gear on batteries. Oh, she works. Hold on, gonna get a flash cart. All right, Sonic, all right. So let's plug a flash cart in. I do sell these as well. But yeah, anyway. OS install. SMS. I haven't even got my game set up properly on the flash cart. Never mind. So we are loading up some Sega Master System. And in Master System mode, oh man, I'm telling you, it looks amazing. Let's try and take a little bit. I'll tell you, this camera here is not doing this game any favors, because this looks incredible. Go on, Alex. And as you can see, Master System mode is working absolutely fine. Now, this isn't Ghosty, is it? No, this is Magical Ring. I'm not going to play through a whole level, but I thought I would just. Now, should we just activate Ghosty and die? Yeah, fuck it. Oh, language, Vince, language. There we go. And that's Master System mode all up and running. Flash cart's working. Everything's running. It's a nice one. But yeah, that is the end of the build and the end of this particular Game Gear. Phatboy, I do hope you enjoy your new Game Gear, my friend. And until the next one, I'll see you later.